Good morning, everyone. I'm Nikki Stanzione.
And I'm Kristen Van Dyke.
And this is New Mexico Style, and it is Monday. And even though it's cold out, I'm invigorated. I'm ready to start a new week. It's Oscar week. We've got a lot of fun things this week. Aren't you invigorated?
Yes, and go Lobos.
Yeah.
Big game this weekend.
Good for us.
Last week we beat 13th ranked San Diego State. Then we beat 11th, I believe, ranked UNLV Saturday.
Las Vegas, yep.
The rankings come out later on tomorrow, so we should be in that top 25, at least, maybe even in the top 20. So super exciting news. That was a big win.
A lot of really happy people across New Mexico for that. And speaking of very successful people in New Mexico, one of Albuquerque's own actually hit the small screen on the new CW reality show Remodeled, which empowers young models to take control of their careers and lead healthier lives. Now, Meghan Wiggins, you may remember, she was on our show. Absolutely breathtaking. Take a look at that face. I mean, is she not gorgeous? She is just rising, that star of hers. She got a spread in Elle magazine, front page of the Albuquerque Journal this morning. Meghan Wiggins, congratulations, beautiful girl. She, of course, works with the Phoenix agency with Janice Lujan, and she told us really big things were happening, but she couldn't really tell us.
Say what? Exactly,
remember?
Yeah.
So she had to kind of tease it until the show started. Have you seen any episodes of the show yet?
I haven't seen it, but I was reading about her, and I know that there was like this interview, and they're talking to her about, you know, because it's her senior year, and so she had to take off from her senior year of high school. So I don't know if she's getting homeschooled, but I think she said in the 4th episode she's going to be talking kind of a little bit more about the schooling process, because she's kind of diving into her career.
What happened was, in the last episode, she basically said she quit. She's done with school. She wanted to go to Fashion Week in New York. She did not want to miss out, so she was done. But Paul, who's, you know, he's the head honcho, he's the guy in charge, he was like not having it. He said, absolutely not. You are not sacrificing your education for your career. You have to make sure that you get, you know, you have to get through high school. You have to graduate, because no matter what happens and what opportunities show up for you, without an education, it means nothing, you know? And it's a great message, because you really should pursue your career. You should have a passion for something and follow it, but that doesn't mean you should let go of the importance of education in your life. So good for her, and congratulations, Meghan. We're so happy for you, and we'll continue to see that star rising as we move through the rest of this season, so, and the rest of her life, in fact.
Of course. Well, now let's check in with KRQE News 13 morning anchor Elizabeth Alvarez for today's headlines. Hey, Elizabeth.
Hey, good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
Happy Monday.
Happy Monday.
Good morning to you at home as well. Top of your morning news headlines this morning. We could learn the name of the man who died in an accident at the Sandia ski area as early as this morning. The accident happened yesterday. Witnesses say the man was skiing down the slope very fast when he hit another skier and slammed into a pole. He was rushed to the hospital and later died. They lost millions of dollars in a Ponzi scheme, and now the people who got conned are getting taken to court by the same guy who ripped them off. And to fight this, they're getting help from a hotshot attorney from New York. The trustees for Doug Vaughn's bankruptcy case are suing the people who lost about $75 million when they invested in his Ponzi scheme. His lawyers are basically saying that the investors should have known the rates of return were unrealistically high. Now, a high-profile attorney from New York, Helen Chapman, is going to represent the more than 100 investors who are getting sued. As for Doug Vaughn, he pled guilty in December and will spend up to 12 years in prison. The head of Espanola Police has called for an internal investigation after an officer suspected of driving under the influence of alcohol was allowed to go home without taking a field sobriety test. Moises Peña was not tested when an officer found him passed out in a pickup truck on Thursday. The truck was actually running. Police Chief Leo Montoya says that is definitely grounds for a sobriety test. Well, the legislative session is over. Even so, New Mexico's governor has a busy week ahead of her. Governor Susana Martinez will go through all the bills that the state legislature has approved and decide which projects will get funding and which won't. Here's News 13's Selena Westervelt with more.
According to the governor's office, think of it kind of like a credit card. Every year, the state legislature funds out capital outlay projects, which are bonded out over 10 years. This year, the governor says she's looking at even the smallest charges carefully.
A lot of it can have pork in it, you know, just earmarked dollars for little tiny projects, some of them $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 when you turn around and you bond it for 10 years.
Here's a look at the items she's already planning to line item veto. $80,000 for mariachi equipment and a mariachi center in Roswell, $201,000 for a botanical garden in Santa Fe, and in Albuquerque, it's $50,000 on signs for the International District and another $25,000 on garden improvements. But the governor says there's one project that stands out, $205,000 for a weight room and gym equipment in West Las Vegas. The governor says it's money that could have been spent to fix the area's leaking Patterson Dam instead.
At one point, they had 30 some odd days of water left if they didn't conserve it with paper plates and not using the dishwasher and that sort of thing. That's not right.
As part of the capital outlay bill, the governor must sort through nearly $140 million worth of projects. She says she already has plans to veto about $5 million worth of those projects.
I'm going to get rid of projects that is nothing but wasting dollars in a way that is not meant for state capital.
Selena Westervelt, KRQE News 13.
And the governor has until March 7th to sort through these capital outlay bills, along with the 77 other bills that made it to her desk. And that wraps it up for your Monday morning headlines. You can catch Matt Morrow, Kristen Van Dyke, and me every weekday morning on KRQE News 13 beginning at 4:30 a.m. Ladies, have a happy Monday. It's President's Day, it's a holiday, and it's going to be wickedly windy out there. Kristen, I'm sure you're going to be talking about that in a little bit.
Oh, yeah. It already is. I hate the wind. You know that.
A taste of spring today with the wind, but you have the winter-like temperature, so it is going to be very chilly.
Yeah.
And the winds are just going to be cranking up all day long. So let's talk about the weather. Before we get to the nasty part, I did want to show you something pretty cool. I don't know if you saw this, Nikki, but this is really neat. It's the Yosemite waterfall.
Whoa,
I call it a fake out because it looks like, doesn't it look like lava?
Yeah.
Flowing down.
Oh my gosh.
It's not actually lava.
What is it?
Once a year, the earth and the sun line up, and then when the sun sets, the angle of the sun breaks down the light to where it looks really, really orange. And so all these photographers go there and take pictures of the waterfall. Isn't that really cool? So this was over the weekend. Really pretty up that way.